Go Birds. What a start to the season. 3-0. Never thought deep down that would happen. I really thought we'd lose the Minnesota game, but we did it. We got the win, and then we've avoided any sort of potential slip up game by beating Wentz and the Washington Commanders. Nearly said the wrong team name there, but you can't blame me. They have changed it 3 times in 3 seasons. Well, 3 different names in 3 seasons, last 3 seasons. But yeah, the game itself on Sunday was fantastic. That was kind of a great defensive display by us, and that's the second game in a row it's done it now. So has Gannon now got the tools, know how to use his tools better because he's got the tools, and that game one was a bit meh. Maybe it was pre-season that kind of caused that because they didn't really play, didn't get a chance to really implement his scheme in a real life situation bar. I think that Miami practice and Jets practices maybe. So we need to give him time. I get that. So maybe I just write that one off. But the last 2 games, the defense have been fantastic. Gannon deserves props for that. I didn't think he was going to be a great coach. I didn't think he was going to utilize the players correctly. I didn't think he was going to be causing multiple schemes where I'm not sure what we're going to do on a weekly basis. And he's done all of that. Like, we are unpredictable on defence on what we're going to do, and we're getting the job done. If he can maintain that over the next couple of games, that'd be great because it's really going to confuse the other teams. And it was a bit, it was a bit emotional seeing Carson Wentz, but you know what? We do look so much better. Like, Hurt is so much better than Wentz has been. Like, bar even the run he had in 2018 before he got knocked out by, was it Clowney in Seattle? He wasn't even, he was good, but he wasn't, that by that 2017 season and towards the end of his rookie season, that's the sort of last decent bit of quarterback play we saw consistently from a player. And so it's nice to have Hurts do that. 3 games for me, and that was probably Hurts' worst game, but that's no sort of bad thing because it was still a good game, and it's nice to have that quarterback play because otherwise it has been streaky. You had Foles have a couple of good games, a couple of bad games. You had Wentz, going for it, and Hurts even himself last season. So it's nice to see a consistent quarterback play, and he's definitely pushing himself into that conversation for MVP. Still early on, but he's definitely going to be fantasy MVP. But real life, MVP, he's definitely put his name in the hat there. I think that the way that the offense is operating with the weapons that we've got. I think Pascal's been a great pickup. He's doing the dirty work like JJ Thaga-Whiteside did, but he can actually catch as well. So, you've got a player that can actually do that. Quez Watkins' speed. He didn't get any catches, but he got 2 big penalty plays on Sunday. So that's really good that people are fearing his speed. And then obviously AJ and Devontae are just absolute beasts. I love Devontae Smith, love AJ Brown, the best core. I loved Jackson and Macklin, but I think these guys are going to be better than that. I think you've got potential to be one of the best receiving cores in the league. So I'm absolutely over the moon that Titans didn't want to pay AJ and traded him to us, and I'm so glad that we picked Devontae Smith because both those guys are going to be legit, and they've both got good chemistry with Jalen. The other thing to take away really from that game is that the offensive line did look very solid throughout most of it, but the second half was a bit poor, and I think we went a bit sort of we're better in high tempo and we're better when we're unpredictable. But it seemed like we were, it was obvious we were trying to waste time. It was obvious we were like, let's just maybe run the ball, maybe do short things. And I think that's why we haven't been scoring in the second quarter. And I'm not upset about that. There will be a point when we turn that around, but I really wouldn't get some Eagles fans getting. I see a little bit sort of like hold it there. Let me just push you back into reality a second. Pump the brakes. We haven't scored in the second half for 2 weeks, right? But we've dominated both games. The offense is not needed to do it. But I think if we had to and we had to go tempo and things like that, then we would. But it's not worth risking injury with the tempo. It's not worth doing it. So I think that's why we haven't seen it. But in tight games, we're definitely going to score in the second half. I don't see why we wouldn't. So, don't worry about that. Make sure that we give Doug a nice reception on Sunday. For any of you that are watching it going, I think he's been um, dealing with it quite well from the interviews that I've seen with the Jags when they've asked him questions and quotes that I've seen. He knows what we're like here in Philly. We're a very passionate group. As Daryl Morey said yesterday in an interview in 97.5 with Cuz, and if you haven't heard it, definitely go and listen to it. He's travelled across Europe and said that how here in England we are so passionate about our football teams, soccer teams, and it's very intense, and there's not many places that can replicate that, but Philadelphia is one. When the Eagles or Sixers are on top, and to an extent the Phillies, but it's a basketball and a football city more so than baseball. Um, it's just so passionate and intense. Everyone loves it. When I've been out there during the Eagles season and I've had an Eagles thing on or something, it's like go Birds everywhere you go. Go Birds, go Birds. Nods and acknowledgement. It's fantastic, and I absolutely love. I just love the Philadelphia area when there's Eagles doing well and the buzz around the city. So I'm hoping to be out there this season for a game, but Cowgirls game would have been ideal, but I'm not going to be able to do that. So yeah, it's just we got to give him a good reception because I certainly would if I was there. Legend really, because he brought us our first Super Bowl, and he had a couple of bits of success. That second year as well probably would have, in my opinion, got to the Super Bowl as well. So he deserves his kudos there. Obviously, it didn't end well, but it is what it is. We're happy with Nick at the moment. I think Nick's a great coach. Very similar sort of. You can tell he's very similar sort of leader of men. You can definitely see that in him. You can definitely tell that the players buy into him, and he's got that likability about him, and probably that emotional intelligence thing that we wanted after Chip Kelly. So yeah, I'm really happy and looking forward to this Sunday. I'll do a prediction video for Sunday. I do think we're going to win if we can carry on. But yeah, Vikings and even the Lions game, because Lions aren't looking as bad as usual, but the Vikings and the Washington game definitely stood out to me as like big things. And I know Washington aren't good, but the way the defence just stood up and smashed it. And they weren't a bad offensive line, really. They weren't the best, but they're not the worst we're going to come across. And we did smash them. So go Birds. Let's hope that everyone stays healthy at practice for the rest of this week and we can go into the week healthy, on a high, and go 4-0. And I'll do my review Thursday or Friday.